right, looks like we are live. Okay, microphone is correct. Good. Happy Saturday, everybody. I think I figured out I get better throughput on Wi-Fi than I do off connecting directly with Ethernet to my router, which makes zero sense to me at all. I thought I used to understand this stuff, but it makes no sense to me. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Apparently I need to relearn about modems and routers. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I thought all the wired stuff had to be like pretty dang fast when I have an Ethernet cable between my modem and my wireless router, and then into my wireless router, routing my wireless router to my computer. That seems like it should be the fastest. What's up, Nick, from the Gulf of Mexico? How's it down there right now? Is it nice and toasty warm? I don't even know. And what part of the Gulf? Like Texas? I need to go somewhere. I like really need to go somewhere. Hot out and windy. Too Yost even. 100 miles out in the water, like, what do you mean? You're like on a boat? Stop it. Oh, no kidding. Like getting us some oil? That's so cool. 2021 is just nuts. Like the last few years, just the stretch of bring home that black gold. Yeah. I'm switching all to Tesla, so I won't be using so much. I guess something's got to lube like the internal parts though, right? So I'll use a little bit. And my girlfriend's car is still using a little bit, but not for too long. That's so cool. But do you? Awesome. 100 miles out. So how far? Oh, so you're like legit like in the middle then, huh? Like literally the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. But it's just crazy, like 2021, 2020, how small the dang world is too. I'm just like at my house BSing on a camera, talking to somebody on an oil rig out in the middle of nowhere. My virtual assistant lives in the Philippines. I literally have a therapist that lives in India. Like, I talk to her, she's in Dubai. Everything's all video. The world is so small right now. It's nuts. Yeah, really good day, Steven. Oh, this has been like the first time I think I've caught you. I think usually you're shopping or out doing better stuff than sitting and watching YouTube during the weekend for sure. South New Orleans. New Orleans is my hands down favorite place I've been to inside of the United States. I love it there. I can't wait to go back someday. But what's made it really hard is I started enjoying like outside of the country too much. So it's hard to take like a 6-hour trip when I can take a 12 or 14-hour trip and go to like some super cool third world country. Smells like pee and vomit mixed with beer. Yeah, but you just drink enough until you don't care anymore. and that doesn't matter. It's like bad alcohol. Like someone brings the cheap stuff, and you just need a few drinks of whatever you're drinking, and then you can switch to whatever, and it just doesn't matter. I don't know. That place was a blast. I thoroughly enjoy how much they really care about tourism there. Like, they cater to drunk idiots. Like, as long as you're not hurting anybody else or anything like that, you know, and being relatively safe. You don't have to be super safe, but as long as you're not killing anybody, like, you can throw up. There was like girls throw. I remember there was this girl throwing up all over a horse, like on one of the police that were riding a horse in the street, and they're just like, you know, taking care of her. I mean, that's all their industry there, right? Just a bunch of tourism. So I thought that was super cool. But it's been, oh man, God, it's been like 10 years or something since I was there. Maybe not 10, but I want to go back. How long do you stay on an offshore platform? Is it like weeks, months, something like that? That'd be so hard. I mean, just being away from like everything, 3 weeks on. I guess that's not too terrible. Man, weeks on, 3 weeks off. And then do you live like pretty close, or you just can, like, people live all over the country and just fly over there? That's a good schedule though. And then, like, when you're there, are you working like super ridiculous, like 12-hour days or something like that? And you live in Dallas? Yeah, man, my only experience with Texas was a layover when I was going to Mexico at one point, and just the humidity was insane. That's all I remember. Okay, gotcha. So does your job change, like, when we saw those ridiculous, like, oil futures? Did it change anything for you guys? 12-hour days and you're watching. Yeah, gotcha. So you're like on duty. Dallas, man. I can't wait till everything just opens up and travels normal and I get to do that for a little while. Okay, so you're just still sucking it out. How long have you done that for? It always seemed like, I don't know, like, all, of course, like the majority of us, all we see is the movies and everything and how it's depicted. It looks like, I don't know. I guess it looks cool and kind of, I mean, not cool like superhero cool, but they always make it look fun. But it was like when I was a kid, I did demolition with my friends, and it was like super shitty work. But because we're all just young and breaking stuff, it seemed really fun and cool. I liked it at the time. I wouldn't want to do it now. Dude, I need to take time this weekend and really go over, go through AT&T. I had saved an article I wanted to read through just about its current valuation and basically the parts and pieces that were taken away and added to it. I think it's maybe pretty undervalued right now. I do think Tesla's bottomed, Jacob, but I always think Tesla's bottomed is the problem. Where's my line? I had a line up there. I've had this line for a while, which was about 578, and we've seen a little bit below that. I think so, but Good Lord. I don't know. This last week was just a straight up weird. I don't know. It was just like kind of like a weird feeling this last week or two, and everything just more uncertain than usual. But I felt pretty good about it. Um, it's just if the overall market starts heading down again, I mean, it could end up down a bit farther. And I think, and I'm still looking for it to consolidate. I think around 600, but that's actually, let me look. What was I say 600. Yeah, but that's like a 560. I think is where it's going to bounce off of pretty good every single time. Do I do any trading in a Roth IRA? I do. So I do that in. I have an account open with M1, but not like I don't do options or anything in it. But that's where my Roth is. I should move it actually over to Tastyworks so I can do some real stuff with it and do some options. But I mainly focus on just like long-term positions on it though. 2012 I started. Not everyone is a roughneck. We have other jobs: electricians, mechanics, automations. Oh, I see. I say Dallas, but really Fort Worth. I don't know that area. My sister actually lives in Texas. She was in California for years. She moved down there to go to school, and then she ended up getting married and having kids, and then California got too expensive. She lived in Corona and then moved over to Texas. But I guess like a lot of people that lived in California has moved over there. You just opened up a Roth at Vanguard. I'm loading up with VTSAX. What is that? If it has, I can't remember who said it. Like if it has 5 letters, be a little scared. VTSAX. What is it? Oh my, what is this? Oh, just total stock market index. Why not? That's like the smartest thing. That's the smartest move ever. Just a total index. No stress, no nothing. Just buy. It's just like I stick a little money into just the S&P 500. That's like the most stress-free. You know you're not going to get screwed as long as you're not like super going to cry over a move, every day. Then nothing's going to be bad. Actually, I'm curious. So, how long has that fund been around? Probably a long time, and just moves like the SPY. I want to look at something real quick. Where's my drip calculator? ETF version. Do they have so I assume they have some sort of dividend. All right, VTSAX. Wow. It actually outperformed the SPY too. That's insane. I always look at it. Return. I always look at this drip calculator when I'm looking at some dividend producing stocks, and it's like I'll look at it and see something that has some pretty good dividends, and I'll look at it on here and compare it to the S&P 500, and the S&P 500 over the long term usually slaughters it. This is like one of the first ones, unless it's something I know that just skyrocketed up out of nowhere that's actually beats the S&P. That's cool. Why not? VTI. Oh, I think I probably have VTI. Oh yeah, VTI is owning too. I think I probably have VTI in mine. When do I decide to roll out a put credit spread if it's in the money? When it's close to expiration, or when it goes in the money a little or goes a lot? It depends on. It depends like what I know is coming up or not. So I actually, for the first time, I had one expire in the money. It's in one of my other accounts. It was a 600, and then but I don't trade in there very often, and most of the things are like super out of the money. So, and by the time I finally looked at it yesterday, it was kind of like midday, and there was only like $30 left of extrinsic value. So I let it ride to see just whatever happened. But at the end of the day, I think Tesla went down pretty good. So that was one of my losers. But generally, unless there's something coming up, like I probably wouldn't move it like when it's getting close to July, June, July, or like end of June, beginning of July, just because we know we have delivery numbers, production numbers, and then we have the earnings call. So like all those things are catalysts, but other than that, I would just move it out as soon as possible if it's going against you. And like a few weeks ago, when I knew I had those production numbers coming out, I didn't move them. I let it go in the money and came back out of the money, and then they were fine. Jackie, aka Chow's Predictions. Do I know any option trader business companies where they can day trade for you? Nope. And if they do, they charge you a huge fee. They charge you, like, anybody who's willing to do that will generally just charge you 20% of their profits plus a total of your overall account size as a percentage. Are you just gonna have VTI in there, like, at all? Since I reinvest profits from AT&T and Palantir back into the stock, I was wondering why you don't do the same thing with profit from Tesla spreads. Because I'm using it to, I guess it's kind of like different theory with I'm not selling much premium on that. And I mean, well, essentially, I guess I have. Like the short answer is I have, because I started the account with not much. So every bit of that 200 shares I own has been from basically income. I have, like, that account has, I want to call it negative 50,000, because I've started with $500. I've taken out 60,000 now, something like that. So that's all just profit in there. And with that 200 level worth of Tesla, I'm pretty happy with the amount that I own in there. I own some in some other accounts. So I don't know, I don't need 1,000 shares in there, and I still want some money to play with and to pay taxes with, frankly. So, and because AT&T specifically, that's not like a company I'm in love with or anything. It's just a place like, okay, I can stick 10 grand in there, 20 grand in there. I know it's not going anywhere. It'll go up a little bit, go down a little bit, and I'll get some interest on it. I mean, even right now that it's down, where did it end up? It's like $30, but it's been in that range for, like, forever. What, 28 to 30 or so?
and it's just been sitting there, and I'm still getting what was the last dividend payment was like 130 something, I think, dollars. So I can get, it's just like having interest, high yield savings account pretty much for me. Palantir, on the other hand, is one I do want to, that one I want to build a position on, and I only have I think 300 and some shares on. My goal is to have 1,000, so I have another. Let's actually, I can take a look at it. Like, I'm happy. I guess that's at the end of the day, I'm happy with my position size on Tesla, but on Palantir I want more. So let's see, where are we? 359 shares of Palantir right now. And then I have 3 leaps, which should secure me another 300. And then I'll keep selling a put. Hopefully I'll get a sign, so that'll be another 400. So that'll be like, 760 shares. And then I buy like $20 a day. I have a recurring daily purchase. So my goal is 1,000 shares of Palantir. And then so I also take my premiums, and I stick it back in there too. What do I do as a 9 to 5? I do outside sales, which I've been doing for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. Like, for me, it's something that's super easy now, and I like it. I would like to quit sometime, though. Actually, like, the biggest frustration is, like, that's super easy. But there's so much stuff I'd rather, like, get out there, and, like, I'll start a ton of videos, and I know these, like, the ones that I generally make and post all the time, they're super easy, right? I don't edit them. You guys can see me go and stumble. Once in a while I'll re-record them, and but short of that, like, they're super simple. But it'd be nice to actually have the time to make slides and explain some of the concepts that I really want to, because some of this stuff is really easy, like, once you get it down, and I can picture a lot of stuff in my head, but I just need to put it on paper. Kind of like the Palantir thing. Like, I have all the slides, I have all that written. It's just a matter of recording it and editing it, and and then I want to do an update too, since now Palantir has moved against me, and then we can look at the premiums sold and how that's offset the calls that I bought. That I'm down on the calls, but I've sold enough premium to make up for them, so that's pretty cool on the poor man cover call situation. Hey, you said you got from 50,000. You got to 50,000 from $575 in a half month when stock market had crashed a little bit last year. Could you get to 50,000 from 500 in a half month by doing the opposite when the stock market is going up? Yes, but you just have to pick the right things. Like, anything's possible. You'd have to pick something that there's like a 1% chance of happening, which I was lucky enough to do on the bonds, and it was something that was super stable in the past, so the options were very, very, very cheap. Right now, because everything has been so crazy and volatile, I don't think there's not going to be a big enough surprise anywhere. I mean, like, the biggest surprise lately is AT&T actually dropped a couple dollars, but nothing else. Like, as far as big movements, what happened, they're probably not going to. You got wrecked on Mara and Riot. Yeah, I think, actually, my girlfriend doesn't even talk about it. She probably got wrecked on Neo. God. Yeah. Mara. Yeah, everything. I was hearing somebody got wrecked on Baba. Ooh. And what other one? No, right. Let's bring them all up. Look at the years. Everything. I mean, it's pretty much all across the board.
But actually, all those charts, that's kind of funny because like all these charts really look very, very similar. Huh. Like overall, I mean, everything really is. Oh, on Workhorse, my only green play is TNA. Good. I think I was like looking at TNA too after you told me that. Oh yeah, TNA is the only one that didn't take that like this fall off that you can see with every other thing. Yeah. But it's cool. I mean, like if you think about it, we're all looking at stuff that we've never seen before. Like we saw a little touch of this, like how the crypto was back years ago, but there wasn't stocks like based around any of it. We've seen a pandemic. Nobody's gone through a pandemic while trading. We've seen the upside, like all this cool stuff that we get to see and learn from. And like for a lot of people, this is year 1 or 2. It's not year 20 or 30. Like I wish I had 30 years under my belt, but then I think you're almost at a little bit of a disadvantage if you have 30 years under your belt doing this, and then the pandemic gets thrown at you, and like crypto gets thrown at you. A little unsettling, especially like with like valuations and everything. Like GameStop, nobody's ever seen a GameStop before. It's crazy. Been selling covered calls on Workhorse since February, and it keeps going down. Oh, they're $8. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I picked some up like right after that dip, and I can't remember if I just bought some shares and sold them real quick, just like a quick flip. Bummer. But every single EV stock was like super, super overvalued. The thing that'll suck, how many shares do you own, Nick? The thing that'll suck, I think, with Workhorse is like you're gonna start selling the covered calls. This is like my fear, and this is what really sucks. What happens? You're gonna start selling those covered calls like super close to the money because you're just like, screw it. Let me get like a little bit of premium. Let me get like 20 cents. Yeah, 800 of them, and then you'll keep doing that. And then 1 week, some news will come out, and then it'll like skyrocket up to 20. You'll get them called away from you at like 12, and then you don't get all that upside. The more I sell covered calls on some of the companies, the more I hate it, especially like the growth ones. I don't ever feel like they're necessarily a good fit for the covered, like the actual will strategy. I think you'd be better off, like as far as auto, I think like Ford or GM, something that's more stable. But Workhorse, like what if they get like that, like what if they get a contract assigned to them? Like what's going to happen to the stock price overnight? Where do you sell your covered calls at? Are you selling them like just a few dollars above the market or above the mark? $20. Yeah, I think people bought them. Oh, okay? So you're at least selling them up there, but isn't that hard to? That amount of premium can't be much at all, is it? It's such a hard balance. Where's my Workhorse? I'm just curious. $20.23, even like out in July. Oh yeah, it's hard to get. Yeah, it's hard to grab them. Yeah, so hard. It's kind of like a little stuck situation. And is it a company you actually love? Like, do you really like the company? That's what happened to me with BNGO. I bought it for no good reason other than like other people were buying it and it was going up. And then I started selling the calls, like I sold them super close to the money, hoping that I was going to get them called away. And then it just like dropped faster than anything ever happened. Used to like them. Maybe just time to cut it. Get into something you like. Thoughts on SPCE? I don't know. Okay, so it's been a while since I looked at space. God, I wish I would have kept my shorts on that. I'd bought some long dated puts. I don't remember how far out on space. I don't know how they're going to make money, and if they do, it's going to be very, very, very far out. I think it is people wanting to get into space like that sector and not knowing, and they don't know really why. I think that's the only reason that it's had its pump up. Not something I'm interested in owning, because this is basically like based on commercial flights. Somebody did a really, really, really good analysis on SPCE, just like breaking it down very basically, and like how many flights they would have to have, like commercially, and what profitability would have to look like, and it doesn't look very feasible to me. I wish I would have tuned into their test flight though. That stuff's always so sick. That's so cool. It's so cool that there's like so many companies that are competing to do that now. I think it's awesome. Yeah, are they still fighting that USPS contract? Because I know they were gonna fight it. I remember that. That's why, like at the dip, I bought it just in case. And then I can't honestly remember what I did with it. I think I took some profit and then moved on. You don't think they're fighting it? Okay. I'd heard like super initially, like right after they got announced, that they were going to fight it. What do they even, like, what's on their, it's funny. It's funny when I didn't even, let's see. It cracks me up, like when I own a stock, or when people own stock, and they haven't even been to their website. That's like the worst thing. I feel like if you've not been to their website or don't own their product, like you should not own it. And Workhorse is one of those. I think I did own it at one point, and I guess I've seen them on some videos and stuff, but I've never actually seen their website. This is my very first time. Well, they look like some UPS delivery trucks. And I think Workhorse, they like IPO, weren't they like, the value of their stock wasn't it like $1 or something quite a long time ago? Biden needs to put his foot down on what? Biden, God. I don't know if he should. Can you? He just cracks me up. Is he gonna get angry? Listen, folks. Listen, folks. It's time to get serious. Oh. You don't think they're okay? And only producing a few vehicles. He needs to put his foot down on USPS. Why isn't the other, like, what it needs to happen? Because the other company was it like OS? I can't remember the ticker. I know it sucks. I don't even know the name, but I think I remember ticker OSK, something like that. That ended up getting the contract instead of Workhorse. But then I know the bill came out like where everything has to be largely made in America, and I don't know the other company. Yeah, Oshkosh, right? Is there anything bad about them or why it shouldn't go to Oshkosh? Webvan? I don't even know what the Webvan was. I think like Workhorse seems legit. I don't know much about them, but I think it's like that's a smart platform to be working on. I mean, it doesn't matter if they have some more weight. They don't need a ton of range. They just need to be a big box. And like that's the form factor everybody's using. Every single FedEx truck, every UPS truck, every Amazon delivery truck. There's trades that use those. Like I see plumbers and electricians, they use that style truck. A lot of people use it, and nobody's fulfilling that right now. Oshkosh doesn't make electric vehicles, so then how did the contract go to them? OSK, yeah. I don't know anything about Oshkosh either. Why when I look up Oshkosh, it shows kids' clothes? That's what I was thinking. I was like, but that can't be it. Workhorse reminds me of the fellow. Okay, let's see. Oshkosh doesn't make electric vehicles. Workhorse at least made trucks and got ordered. Ride hasn't made any yet. Okay, yeah, Oshkosh makes military trucks. Okay. That sounds right. That sounds like something I've heard before. And they usually, so they're like they generally just go after military contracts or just government contracts. Like that's what Oshkosh does, right? And then so what's the problem with them fulfilling the order that Workhorse wanted or thought they had secured or was rumored to have secured? I mean, like, I think the parts have to be largely made in America from a valuation standpoint. And I guess it used to be like a percentage standpoint. Now it's like a valuation standpoint. So it's not like you can get all the cheap parts from US and then outsource the batteries and the drivetrain or something from China. Let's talk about going full EV for government vehicles. It's got to all happen eventually. It just doesn't make... I mean, you have a Tesla, Nick, so you know. Like, it doesn't make sense to have any... Like, after you have one, and, like, even all the things that people think they're worried about with range... I mean, it's always range that they think they're worried about, or battery degradation. And then at the end of the day, like, for most people, 100 miles worth of range is just fine 99% of the time. I still have a gas truck and want to get rid of it. I'll use the Tesla for daily and to get to work. Yeah. Why wouldn't you ever get rid of your gas truck? We ordered my girlfriend the Cybertruck because we it's like, yeah, most of the time you do need a truck in the house. If you have a house, if you have an apartment or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Because every man needs a truck, bro. But what about an electric truck? What about a Rivian? I don't have a truck. Maybe I'm not a man. But come Q4, like 3-4 months from now, I will be when I get my Cybertruck. I although it sucks because you don't want to beat it up like an older truck. I've had trucks in the past. They're like super convenient. And then if you don't have one, nobody can call you to move their crap all the time, which is nice. But what about no, a real truck? Like, oh yeah, well, you're from Texas. It's different though. I live in a condo, and having an EV will prove difficult. I like my F-150 with its V8. Yeah, maybe people just love them. But maybe you're right and I'm wrong. I've had both. Do I want a truck? I don't really. Actually, she wants a truck more than I do. But like once in a while, we 100% do need one. Like whether it's getting a TV, furniture, whatever the hell. From Texas, we all ride horses to work. Oh, yeah, that's what we think about you guys down there. Ride horses to work, and you guys, and everybody's required to have a shotgun, right? You have a shotgun, a big. What do they call? Are they like beauty queen trucks? What are the like the big ones that are all nice and shiny, but you don't use them? I want the Cybertruck, but I don't see how it's possible in condo. So here, okay. So having an EV is difficult. So like here, when they build new condos, they're like required to put them in. I know in California you're required. I don't even know if you're allowed to use more electricity than you produce in California. But I've got new condos, and there's like, I think there's enough charging for like every other place to be to have like a car charging every other whatever parking slot. I started trading because I wanted to buy a used 90s Civic with a K-swap. Dude, I love it. Yeah, that's so hilarious. That's like, yeah, I used to do that. That was like until I got my Tesla. Like the most reliable, best thing ever. Was super old. Like my first commuter car was like an 84, 85 CRX, like the first generation one, and then I got like the 91, and then I got 95. Let's see, was it like a 95 Civic? Upgraded from the CRX to the Civic. Had a couple. Then I think a 2003, and then I upgraded to Accord. I used to love those, man. But the ones I actually built, they're not. I used to build race cars. There was a Dodge Colt GT and a Mitsubishi Mirage Turbo, 1989. And there are not very many of them, but they had a little four-cylinder, 1.6 liter turbo engine in them. And they could be swapped from any of like the Turbo Eclipse or Turbo Talon, but just that year, and you could just like, they were totally interchangeable. And then with just like a few really small modifications, you had 300 horse, 300 or 250, 300 pounds of torque, and these little things that were the same size as a Civic. Everybody thought they were. But that's a good reason for learning to trade, to get a Civic with a K-swap. And those K series, they're just like bulletproof, right? Like no problems at all, as far as I remember. I'm like trying to move away from that. I literally used to do that stuff all the damn time, and I would like to not own tools and not I don't know, not get oil all over the place and spend all my time doing that. It was super fun. I'm glad I know how. Even though, like, going forward, all that information is going to be completely useless. Like the early, when we used to turbo the Hondas, like we would have to grab the ECU, desolder the EPROMs, program the EPROMs, put its own map on there, and then stick it back in the ECU. There wasn't like everything that was available today. At least I assume it's a lot easier to do it now. Yeah. Well, everything's fast on a car that weighs like 2,000 pounds or 1,800. Yeah. My first, no, not my first one, but my second CRX, I probably drove 60,000 miles on it. I only put oil in it when it was like down on oil. I don't think I ever actually changed it. I think I changed brakes like once, but like beat the crap out of it, treated it horrid, and man, best car ever. I probably sold it. I probably sold it for as much as I bought it for. I think it probably ended up with like 300,000 miles on it, but the body was still in good shape. Definitely not the safest thing in the world, but tons of fun. Tons of fun, even though that thing was super slow. I actually, did I have any swap? I think we had 2 swapped cars that I just like bought from people that needed money. We drove them for like a few weeks and then sold them. Honda does have a great engine. Like nobody can argue that. Even if it's like the one on my lawnmower. My lawnmower has been around forever and ever, and they're always just good. They're just good. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I used to do that when I was like young. I used to just like buy a car, and I don't know, they would have some stupid easy problem and then just flip them. And then I just always kept cash on hand too. Like I'd watch Craigslist and see somebody like needing to get rid of something that was obviously worth more, go grab it and sell it. But I'd driven, God, what was that? Is it, what year was, what's the one that looks like I don't know, it looks like a shoe. It's an EK hatch, I think. I can't remember. I had one of those with I think it was like a GSR swap. And I don't know, we had like 2 of them though. They were fun. They made so much noise, but we still had the Mitsubishis, which actually had a ton of torque. So the Hondas just made a lot of noise and never broke down. My Mitsubishi broke down a lot though. I'll give it that. Or give it that credit or non-credit, or admit to it. So, boy, that's a lot of car stuff and everything but stock, but that's more interesting. This week has just been, I don't know, something else. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see, I think, some bottoming out, hopefully, like, I feel like where the stock market's like breathing, we can kind of continue. I don't need some like a rocket up or anything, but it would be nice to see some stability. And I think it was like, because last Monday or Tuesday, and then this Monday and Tuesday, like both those days we had those extreme, just down scary times. That sucked. Yeah, I think it will. I think every bit of time it spends below 600 is not for very long. I mean, it's just slightly below there. I also need for Michael Burry not to win. Like, I'm gonna be really sad if he's just right and like hit something on the nose. Yeah, I think we'll see above there, because we've only got another month and a half before the next earnings, so it's not, or no, 2 months. Yeah, 2 months before the next earnings, which isn't very much. I should get into that TNA. I was looking at it, like right after you talked about it. I was looking at it because I closed a bunch of stuff in all of my accounts where it was like stuff I just don't care about anymore. And thinking maybe I should just sell some puts there. Kind of nice. Yeah, what to play this week? I don't know what I'm going to be looking at. I'm still just, like I said, I'm just kind of like just chilling. Everything I've sold is like super far to the money. Like you can see my my Teslas are down at like 500. I opened up some more iron condors, 500, 520. I'm not playing anything super high. The only thing I think I'll do, besides some very wide either iron condors, put credit spreads that are down at probably 500, just so I don't have to worry about them. I'm going to look for some stuff that I want to own. So like Palantir, I'll probably just continue to sell some puts on those at $20 because that's something I want to own at 20. I'll buy them at that. But anything else short term, I don't know. Like with the interest rates and everything else, like everybody's kind of on their toes between that, crypto, and everything else. It's just been crazy. You got Palantir at 2150 and 2750. Does that mean that's where you have the calls? Yeah, are you selling calls, or you bought them at 2750 and then 2150? I think any of those are going to be fine in a few years. I think it's going to take a long time for people to catch up, to understand what they're doing. You might do a covered call. I've got covered calls on Palantir right now at 2250. You don't have any new plays. I'll just be rolling out my stocks that are coming up near expiration, but a little more Bitcoin since it's down. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's such a weird time. No real definitive direction. How's the Doge doing? God, 34. My girlfriend missed out on taking a lot of profits. So it was 70 cents before Saturday Night Live, right? I think is what I saw when we were sitting there. Yep. I told her it's just going to continue down, but I'm not allowed to say it because that's being negative. Okay, nice. Signed at 2750, yeah. And I think didn't it hit a low? It was like 18 and some change on Palantir. I bought some, but not enough. Oh, $18. Where's my actual buys? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, it doesn't show how much I bought them for last time. Because I bought some at 18 something. I added to it. Not enough, though. Oh my god, I forgot about faucets. Holy crap. That's so crazy. That's totally a blast from whatever, 2017 or 18 or whenever the last crypto craziness happened. Wow. I remember that. Like, come back every day and, yeah, literally, you can collect a Doge or two. That's so hilarious. Yeah, we're almost. I think we're gonna find out what this bubble is going to do here pretty soon. The next month or two. I think everything's still coming down a little bit more, but long term we'll be up. What is the faucet you speak of? Oh man. Can I find? I don't even know where can we look one of these up. Crypto faucets. Yeah, there used to be like let's see. I don't even know. Best Bitcoin faucets. It'd be like web pages or something that you have to go to every now and again. You'll make a video. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Go review your top faucets. But it was like a web page or something that you could go to every once in a while, and you'd like click on it, and you would get 0.0001 whatever rando crypto or something like that. I mean, it would be like essentially worthless. I mean, but of course, like Doge was essentially worthless up until a few months ago. But they like literally give you a penny or something like that. I tried Bitcoin faucets for 10 days. This is what happened. I got 10 cents. Can I let it, let's see. Can I let it expire date put credit? I think you hit enter too quickly. If you're asking about a put credit spread, can you let it expire? Oh, you got a Litecoin faucet? I just so forgot about those. That's like nostalgic to me now. So, put credit spreads. Can I let it expire date? Put credit spread. So yeah, you can totally let it expire. The problem always is if you're anywhere close to the money, I always close it. Just because if you're anywhere close and it costs you like $2 to close it, it'd be better off close it instead of like last minute. Who knows what news could come out and move super far against you. But I'll let things that don't move too much just expire, and you don't need to do anything with it. The brokerage would automatically deal with it for you. Yeah, so I think like if you were, or even like that day, just because there's not much left, like early in the day, like on Friday, I closed out some put credit spreads because they cost me like $3, and on a stock like Tesla that moves a lot, you never know what stupid news is going to come out and just like move everything. So like the one I closed was I had $2,500 collateral. The maximum gain to let it actually expire worthless was $3 or $2. So I'm going to just go ahead and pay that $3 and not risk. I know it probably won't happen, but anything could happen. And I paid my $2 or $3 to close it instead of keeping that $2,500 at risk. Not even sure what we ended up doing with that. And then those are like ones, so like AT&T I'll get assigned, but stuff like AT&T where I was selling them and I wouldn't mind if I got assigned, or Palantir where I don't mind if I get assigned because I actually want to I want the stock. I'll let those, they can expire worthless, they can get assigned. I really don't care whatever happens there because I'm happy with either side of those trades. So if they go against me, great, I'll take the stock. If they don't, then I'll just try again next week. But I think we are coming up? Yeah, we are about an hour now. And I think I better go get on with my day. I actually need to do some shopping. I hate shopping. But I guess all part of buying a house, you gotta buy a bunch of crap now. I cannot believe the price of wood is so stupid. Like plywood, I don't know where you get, like if it's the same all across the country, like plywood that used to be like 20 some bucks is like $80 for unfinished plywood now. Man, my fence is gonna cost like, instead of a few grand, it's gonna cost like $15,000. It's so stupid. But I'm thinking it's probably just more of logistics and supply chain, actually getting the wood to us. So hopefully things will cool off a little bit. I want to hold off on the fence and doing stuff I don't have to, but man, ridiculously expensive. Unless you guys had any last minute stuff, I'm gonna get out of here and go get to work on my honey-do list chore stuff for the day. It's cool talking Hondas though. Crypto faucets. Thanks for getting us that oil, Nick. We need it. Yeah, appreciate you guys for showing up, man. It's super fun. It's super cool with at least a few people here to BS about whatever we're gonna BS about. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys all next Friday though. I'm gonna go get some work done. All right, love you guys. Let's have a nice green week, or at least even week. Let's see Tesla above 600 this week. All right, love you guys. Bye bye.